Welcome back, Motorheads. This is Wagon Wednesday Finds on Facebook Marketplace. Up first, got 1968 Rambler for $8,500. I don't know about you guys, I've always liked these old AMC wagons. I thought they were pretty cool. Now this one here definitely needs some work. He's asking $8,500. Now my personal thoughts on this wagon, I don't see $8,500. Now I do see value on this wagon, but I just not seeing $8,500. Now looking at the pictures, it does appear to have good bones, and I think this will make somebody an excellent little project wagon, but what do you guys think? Next, got a 1992 Oldsmobile for $6,500. Now, if you've been watching Motorhead Misfits for any amount of time, you know we actually have a 1994 Buick Roadmaster wagon, which is a sister car to this one here. But what makes this one here very cool is that it is the Oldsmobile wagon, and you don't come across a clean specimen in the Oldsmobile wagons, because they quit making these in 1992, so this is the last year for the Oldsmobile. And, you know, personally, I think this here would make somebody a really nice little project wagon. And, you know, being an Oldsmobile, you'll have something a little unique. But what do you guys think of this Olds, and what do you think of that price? Next, got a 1958 Chevrolet for $15,900. Now, this is not a bad looking 1958 here. They're asking $15,900. They said it will need to be trailer because it needs some brake work. Now, me personally, I think the car for $15,900, it needs to be able to run and stop under its own power, especially in the station wagons. I know wagons are getting hot and they're coming up in price. I just don't think this one's here at $15,900. I think this one here is somewhere under $10,000. That's my personal thoughts. I know somebody's going to disagree with me. But overall, I don't think it's a bad wagon, and I think it makes somebody a pretty decent little project. But what do you guys think of this old 58, and what do you think of that price tag? Leave it in the comments. Next, got a 1956 Plymouth for $12,000. Now, if you're into the patina look and you just gotta have it, this old Plymouth here definitely has a lot of patina, tons of it actually. Now, this is actually a pretty cool wagon because it is a two-door wagon. Now, you don't come across them very often. I think $12,000 is a little bit on the high side, but that's my personal opinion. But what do you guys think of this old 56, and what do you think of that price tag? Make sure you leave that down in the comments. Next, got a 1968 Datsun for $8,500. Now, if American wagons aren't your thing, then here's one right up your alley. Nice little Datsun here, a little 68. It looks to be fairly clean. There's some things that need to be done on it, but you don't come across these old 68 Datsun wagons very often. And if you're one of those eccentrics, you gotta have you one of those foreign little wagons. This one here definitely might make you a hell of a little project. But are you willing to give $8,500 for it? That's entirely up to you. I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Is this thing worth $8,500? Make sure you leave it down in the comments and tell me why it's worth $8,500. Next, got a 1960 Rambler for $30,000. Now, this is a very cool little Rambler wagon. I absolutely love this little thing. I love the color scheme they got going on here. All around, this is just a nice looking wagon. And if you got to be absolutely different than what everybody else has, this one here is definitely something you might want to consider. Now, is it worth $30,000? I'm going to leave that up to you guys. Do you guys think he's asking or reaching for $30,000 on this one here? Or do you think he's right on the mark? So, give me your thoughts down in the comments. Next, got a 1953 Chrysler for $16,900. Now, even though I don't think this is necessarily the best looking wagon on the planet, you know, I don't think it's going to win any beauty contests, is what I'm trying to say. You know, it's kind of got one of those faces only a mother can love. I've said that several times about old Mopars. A lot of them just were not very attractive, didn't have real great lines. But this wagon here is in excellent shape, at least from the pictures here. This thing looks to be in very good and complete condition. And I think if somebody had to have one of these wagons, this one here, if you can get it for the right price, this might be an excellent wagon to pick up because a lot of things are there and a lot of the hard work looks to and appears to be done already. But what do you guys think about the price tag on this old Chrysler Wagon here? Has his cheese slid off his cracker, or is he right on the mark? Make sure you guys leave that down in the comments. Next, got a 1965 Chevrolet for $8,495. Now, even though I dig these 1965s, I think he might be reaching on that price. But then again, I've seen a lot of these go for a little bit more when they were in a little bit worse condition than this one here. I think this is really one of those things that boils down to how much are you willing to pay? Me personally, I don't think I would pay that kind of price tag they're asking on this one here. I think there's still a lot of work on this one. I'd have to be somewhere around $5 personally for me to entertain this particular wagon. But what do you guys think? Leave it in the comments. Next, got a 1949 Ford for $10,500. Now, me personally, I dig the hell out of this old 49 here. I had a 49 sedan. Actually, really liked that car. Even though I'm a GM guy, I had a lot of fun with that old 49 Ford. Now, this one here is definitely pretty cool. I also really like these old sedan deliveries as well. Now, there's one thing on this one here I think definitely needs some attention, is that back hatch area. What they done back there, that's not quite working for me. And I think at $10,500, I think it would definitely have to be negotiated for a lot better price to get into this. This is definitely one you're going to have to go look at in person and kind of check out all the body work and all the modifications they've done. Next, got a 1961 Chevrolet for $55,000. Now, there's no denying this is a beautiful wagon. It really is. I dig the color on this here. I love the two-tone they've done on this one here. And like I said, it's just, from the pictures, it appears to be a very well put together wagon. Now, I definitely dig these, but these are definitely not my favorite of the wagons. They're just really not. I think they're cool looking, don't get me wrong. I think they got great lines. But what he's asking at $55,000, I think he might be reaching a little bit. I've seen some of these wagons, they go for a little bit less. They're in about somewhere around in the same condition, at least by judging from pictures anyhow. Now, overall, I do think this is a beautiful wagon, and I think this would make somebody a great wagon. But $55,000, I think you might want to look around and see if you can find one at a little bit better price. Or definitely head over to negotiations with your A game and see if you guys can negotiate a better price on this old wagon if you just absolutely can't live without it. Well, that's all I got for you today, guys. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.